So guys, hello! We are going inside this museum, Belgian museum since 1880 until now, MUzee, Oostende. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we are here in Oostende in one of their famous museum in the MUzee. It's a modern museum where lots of artists are from Belgium, so I hope you will enjoy this vlog. Bye!
Often begins by choosing a photo, a snapshot that she takes herself, or an image that she has found while swiping on the internet. Marie-Jo Lafontaine has photographed multiple series of portraits of children and young people. These are always individual portraits, but because they are exhibited in series, you also immediately have the impression of diversity. In this series, La Belle Jeunesse, the young people are removed from their everyday surroundings. What's more, they don't wear the
This painting was originally a very serious self-portrait of a confident artist who turns towards you and looks you straight in the eye. James Ensor was 23 years old at that point. The curly moustache and the colourful, flower-strewn hat and the long purple feather were not painted until 5 years later. With the fragments of the circle at the four corners of the painting, he was alluding to the famous self-portrait by Rubens. This says something about the artist's high level of self-esteem.
Henri de Cromont painted monumental portraits in a Romanesque style, with power, dynamism, multiple diagonal lines and undulating movements. The
subjects of his portraits were often classical writers, celebrated artists, and heroic historical figures. Baudelaire, Zola, Balzac, Napoleon, Charles the Bold, and Richard Wagner above all were his favourites. He also immortalised his friends on canvas. For example, he painted portraits of Emma Lambert and James Ensor. Emma Lambert wrote novels and biographies under the pseudonym Emile. She had an intense friendship with James Ensor and corresponded with him for many years. She also gave him the harmonium that would come to occupy such an important place in his life. Henri de Gros was a contemporary of James Ensor, and just like Ensor, less precision. Sacrificing depth and volume, and focused intently on depicting light and colour. It was no longer his desire to depict reality itself, but rather his personal experience of that reality. How could he portray emotion and expression with light and colour? For his research, he sought inspiration from Rembrandt and William Turner, two older masters of light. In a speech he gave when he was much older, James Ensor described light as beings. The queen of our senses, the light illuminates us, blows life into us, and shows us new ways that lead to joy and bliss. James Ensor was well acquainted with the sea. He lived 50 metres from the promenade, and each day would carefully observe the clouds, the mist, and the wind on the sea, which created endless nuances. The North Sea made a strong impression on Louis Arton. He loved its changing nature, its temperament, sometimes calm, sometimes threatening, and the play of water, light, and movement. Day after day, he made sketches from nature. He converted an old customs warehouse on De Panne Beach into a studio because he wanted to experience the sea in all weathers, in every wind condition, in all its varied shades and moods. He drew inspiration for this beach studio from the British artist William Turner, who went considerably further.
Euphrosyne Bernard lived in 19th century Oostende. She was a female artist, which was exceptional at that time. Because she was a member of the upper classes, she was able to make painting her profession. She regularly took part in the official salons in amongst the work of many male colleagues. Her style evolved over the years from romanticism to realism, according to the prevailing taste of the wealthy bourgeoisie. For example, she had a realistic working method. She preferred to set up her easel en plein air.
You know what? The painter of this is a woman.
She paints the trunks and foliage of the trees in a very plastic and dynamic way with nervous brush strokes. Her colours are tempered and very deliberately limited to subtle nuances between grey-brown and grey-green. The mood evoked by the painting is rather romantic and poetic. We are overcome by a sense of loneliness and melancholy, but also of awe at the grandeur and power of nature.
Descendant of the illustrious Boch family, who were famous for their ceramics. She travelled frequently. Along the way, she observed the sensitivities of light in the landscape. Boch absorbed the new pictorial insights from the nascent modernism with great enthusiasm. Her membership at the Brussels-based artists group Levant brought her into contact with young, progressive artists. Taking her easel out into the landscape, she was one of the first artists in Belgium to paint en plein air, in the open air. This allowed her to capture the light still more successfully in impressionistic brushstrokes. Theo van Rijsselberger taught her how to achieve lighter and airier effects in her work. For a time, she even experimented with pointillism, executing fine dots side by side, but she found this style too constrictive. Boch then switched to a freer variant, as can be seen in the painting During the Elevation. The striking thing here is the clear light and subtle shade suggested by a purplish pink. With gentle dabs of paint, she unites the shapes, the colours and the composition in a harmonious and balanced way. Anna Boch was also an art collector and took an interest in young artists. Her house in Brussels, for example, was designed by the then still young and relatively unknown architect Victor Horta. She was also the only person to purchase an artwork from Vincent van Gogh while he was still alive. Van Gogh exhibited his painting The Red Vineyard at the annual exhibition of Levant in 1890, along with 5 other works. His sunflowers in particular caused a considerable commotion. One of the members of Levant, Henri de Groux, even refused to exhibit alongside him. So Anna Boch probably bought The Red Vineyard as a statement. Primarily interested in capturing light, very thinly, as if he were painting with watercolours. One above the other. His subjects were taken from everyday life. They were authentic and simple. He also regularly painted self-portraits. In this self-portrait with cigar, we see a proud, radiant man with bright blue eyes. His face is composed of multiple colour films that resonate with the background. Wouters is regarded as one of the most important Belgian Fauvist artists. Fauvism is a derivative of Expressionism, with typically bright colours. Crisp drawing style